Hello, we're going to start with Exercise 5 today. That is, we are running a web based database application via Java, EEE, and Tomcat web server. First, we need to go to Eclipse workspace, and this is the code that the user DAO. So these list of codes over here are import functions. So actually, this is a Java servlet that interacts with MySQL database using JDBC. This servlet handles various database operations related to a user entity. Let's discuss each and every line of the code. Uh, so this line over here, the web servlet declares that this class is a servlet and maps it to the URL pattern that is user DAO, meaning it can be accessed via this URL. So like you know here are some declaration instant variables for database connectivity, including connection statements and prepared statement and result set objectives. These will be used to interact with the database. And moving on, this line over here, this is a constructor for a user DOA class. It initializes the servlet, uh, and this is a protected void connect function, which is a method establishes connectivity to MySQL database. It uses a JDBC driver to connect the database with a specific URL, username, and also password. If the connection is closed or null, it attempts to create a new connection. So yeah, this is how it works. Like, we have given a time zone also, where we have converted the ETC time zone to UTC, and we have given a public key retrieval also, and also we have given the username and password so that it can be accessed and it gets connected automatically. Then moving on, this is a public boolean function, where this method attempts to log in by a user by checking if the provided email and password matches a user credential in the database. It executes an SQL query to find the user with a given email and checks if the result set contains any rows. And also, it returns true if the user is found in the database. So this is how it works. And we use this void connection function, to connect to the database exactly. This is a overloaded function to method that allows you to specify the username and password, and when the connecting of the database is happening, and all those things will be mentioned over here exactly. Uh, and this method over here is literally used to close the database. And it actually, this method retrieves a list of all users from the database and returns them as a list of user objectives. It constructs a SQL query to fetch user data, executes it, and also populates the list of data over here. So all the users list will be written over here. uh, then moving on, this is the disconnect function, which is mainly used to close the database, and also, ensure that all the management and all the resources are closed and the operations are done properly on the database. Then this function over here is a insert function. This method is actually very helpful to insert a new user into the database. It constructs an SQL insert, basically. Insert statement with the user data and execute it to add a new user to the database. Like, it gets added to the database row or column. And then this is the similar code where we delete a database, or remove the row from the database. And these lines are used to update the database over here. Like, we can update each and every email, the first name, the last name, the password, the birthday, address, and the street address, also the city. Everything can be updated over here using this command. Then moving on, The public user get user is literally used to like it is very helpful to retrieve a user from the database based on their email. It constructs an SQL select statement that returns the user as a user object. uh, so yeah, like it literally checks the email and it does the related things easily. So then this method over here is a method which checks if an email already exists in the database. It also construct an SQL select statement that returns true if the email exists. And this is a similar process where like we check the password. This method actually it checks the password in the database if it exists or not. If it's similar to the SQL select statement, and if the password exists in the table, so it just gives true to the value. And then this statement over here is used to check if the combinations of email and password is valid by querying a database and comparing the provided credentials that are already stored in the data or the database. And it returns true if the credentials are matched, and it returns false if the credentials are not matched. So yeah, there will be we have to write the username and the password simultaneously. So it literally just checks if those both are matching or not. So if it doesn't matches, then it's not gonna go through the next process. If it does matches, then yeah, like it is taking you to the next page. So this functions. This is a method where it initializes all the database by executing SQL commands to create a database. It actually creates a user table and inserts sample user data. It's typically called during the servlet initialization. So yeah, we can initialize, and there are different tuples also where like first we are gonna create a database. So and then we are adding different rows, that is like first name, last name, address, password, birthday, and all those things simultaneously. We have a number of rows over here. Then this is nothing but we are gonna insert different people's names, email ID, all those things according to the rows. So overall, this is servlet provides functionality for interacting with the user database, including login, registration, fetching user details, and more. It uses JDBC and database connectivity and MySQL to manage the database. So we are gonna see the front end also. So before doing that, we have to go to MySQL workbench. So yeah, this is the MySQL workbench. I'm gonna paste the code over here. So this is nothing but we're gonna use the test DB table. So I'm just gonna hit Control. Yeah, so it's done. So then we're gonna drop the table if any table exists already with the name test DB, and then we are gonna create a new table if the user doesn't exist. So the table is all created, and then we're gonna insert all the values and names, create table. So it's already done, my bad. So yeah, now we're gonna select the user. Check. User being selected. Yeah, so now if we select the user, so this is the table which is gonna be popped up. So all the details which are filled over here are already like been showing up. That is email, first name, last name, password, the birthdays and street address numbers, address of the street and the city, state, the zip code and balance in their account. So all those things will be showed up, particularly as we have mentioned it. So we can just go to the Eclipse and we can see how the JSP works over here. So I'm gonna run this code. So we are gonna right click and run as and go to run on server. So I have not saved it, so save it. Yeah, so this is gonna redirect you to the login page. So we're gonna use the main so that is the root and the password. Pass 1 2 3. Login. 1 second. It's pass 1 2 3. I entered the password wrong, so it's not happening. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna hit restart server and give OK. It's gonna run the Tomcat again, and it's gonna redirect you to the web. So this is root, and let's pass 1 2 3 4. Yeah, so I successfully got logged in. So these are the list of users which are there under root. The root is a user which acts as a main user which can access all the list of users which are already in the database. They can check all the personal details. So we can also log out over here, and there are two ways of registering a new data. We can just go over here and do the same process again. It's gonna redirect you to the same new page. So I'm gonna give a I'm just giving a password. Register it, so it's successfully registered. We can go to the workbench and run it again. So yeah, you can see this new name which is added. So yeah, this is the Gmail and my name. Everything has been added successfully. So this is how it works, and we have another way also to like register it. That is where we go to the login page and we can just click on register. So the same thing is gonna happen. So we can also go back to the login page again, and we can log in through root. So yeah, you can see the recent added list over here. That is Yadav Tarun and Tarun, my name. So this is the password and the date of birth, the cash, and like the balance, everything. And we can also log out from here. So this is how it works. So yeah, it's successfully working properly. So this is the code, and this is how it works. So finally, we just disconnect the code. So this is how the user DO works. So this is all for today. Thank you.